So let me ask a straightforward question. Does frame rate matter in a game like Hellblade 2? Because media outlets just got done getting hands-on previews with the game for the first time. Don't worry, I don't want to have spoilers in this video, by the way. If you're like me, Hellblade 2 is your most anticipated game this year. It's next month. It's next month. And people got their hands on it. They got things to say. And it's kind of created this debate about the frame rate question, but also has a lot of praise to share. Why am I holding this? So I don't want to show any visuals to keep that experience fresh for you and me, but there is praises. People are singing for it, but now there's this big debate. And the big quotes from outlets that I've gone through and kind of read these previews is Hellblade 2 is undeniably one of the most graphically impressive games I've ever played from IGN. GameSpot and Camera the last time a game left me so excited to play the full experience. Games Radar, it's clearly on track to be one of the most important Xbox exclusives this generation. And Polygon, I wasn't expecting to experience a next-gen moment when I played Hellblade 2, but I got one. There's nothing else quite like it. And I was actually reading the Polygon one, and he brings up how this next-gen, which kind of tailors to that question, that debate, there hasn't really been that many truly next-gen feeling titles. Like, of all the gens we've experienced, this is the one that we're probably playing the most lag with, maybe is the word. But when you see these praises of, like, I think the most universal thing is the tech, the sound, the graphics, Hellblade 2 on just a sheer package level of what this team has feasibly done is quite something to behold. There was another one that was just like, it only takes a brief moment to see like how much of a leap in technology this game is. And there's still other stuff too, like the battles. That was a big complaint for some. I personally like the battles in Hellblade 1, but they improved it. You know, like it's much more meaty, heavy. It's only one-on-one fights, which is very different from the first game, but they did that because I guess all the fights are basically nothing but mocap. In fact, every animation in this game is like nothing but mocap. That's insane. That's short for motion capture, if you couldn't figure that out. There was even like some comparisons that the first game, they shot all the motion capture in like 2 days in just one of their spaces in their office. But now they have this like full-blown studio with 4 times as many people, and they shot like 75 days of motion capture. Like, that's just insane. And that's what I've really loved. Like, on a side note, I've loved the smaller studios that have gotten acquired by Xbox, because it's just like you get to see them scale up from what they used to be to what they are now thanks to these resources. And that's just a really cool thing, at least to me. But focusing again on the game, it sounds like there are puzzles to solve again. I hope there isn't too many of those. To me, that was the more iffy thing than the combat in the first game. There's some interesting like hidden faces that reveal secret passages, and again, just on the technical front, it left a really strong impression on people. All this tech, all this praise, though, it's all about this cinematic immersion. That is the key to all this tech. You want to feel what Senua feels. You want to hear what Senua feels. You want to see what Senua feels. Like, that's what this entire thing is about, that Ninja Theory is trying to do going forward with all their games. They want to put their players into their character. I could have phrased that so much better. But because they're doing that, that is what has led to this big thing that the internet's freaking out about, which is Hellblade 2 is apparently going to be locked at 4K 30 frames per second. And I think really the reason the internet's just on fire about this, having back and forths, is not because the game isn't able to do it. I think it's because of that expectation that Xbox and PlayStation were kind of setting up for this next gen. Like, our bar going forward is 4K 60 frames per second. That is like the minimum that we are going to do going forward. And that was kind of a promise that just hasn't been that consistently fulfilled over 3 years into this gen. So I think that at the end of the day, that is what people are mad about. And this is a game that seems like the most technical madhouse coming from Xbox, like first party. But the thing is, my hot take, 60 frames and up is very great and important for like shooters or fighting games. But a game like this, where it is very cinematic, where it is third person, where It is all about the immersion. I think the fidelity is far more important than the frame rate. If the frame rate came at the sacrifice of downscaling the textures, the shadows, the details in the fire, the lighting, if it came at that cost, then it's not worth it for a game like this. That is all about the immersion factor. The 4K 30 is much more valuable because, fun fact, movies are like at 24 frames per second. I know this isn't a movie, but I think you get what I'm saying. The fidelity in something like this is more important than the frame rate. You're not going to be dealing with a lot of fast-paced combat all the time. You're going to be having the much more heavy one-on-one combat. So, but I will say, just before like I anger you, I will say I wish 40 frames or 45 frames was the benchmark. Why is that not? Like, can you let me know if I'm missing something? Because I just don't get why it's always 30, 60, 30, 60. Why can't it be 40, 45? Freaking Plague Tale Requiem did it. God of War did it. Ratchet & Clank did it. Why not? Well, if you had the right TV at least. But Xbox really needed this. They really needed something to show off what next gen can do. And that's what it sounds like at the least we have gotten for now. This is a game that is an absolute like showing of what the Unreal 5 engine can do. It is a tech powerhouse, and that is great. But they still need those bars to be reached. And I think a great thing that could do that is a very big part of them that they are missing is platformers or cartoony IP. They do not have like any in their freaking wheelhouse. So that's why like when this happened, I was very stoked to find that out. But speculate in the comments, like, was this great? Is fidelity a big deal? Hellblade 2 praise? What's our next topic? If this gets over 100 likes, hold the sword in the next video as long as I haven't recorded it. Hold it for the entire time.